Hi and welcome to Tweet Street. I'm Mick Tiffany and I'm a novice lizard canary keeper and breeder. Join me on my journey as I strive to breed birds good enough for the show bench. Hello again everybody, welcome to episode 15 of Tweet Street and my trials and tribulations of keeping and breeding lizard canaries in the main. We've got a few other bits as well this episode, an update on the Razas. Bit of sad news, they're proper up and down, the Raza canaries. An update with a cat. Don't start me on the cat. Mike Berlin recommended his 3 Rottweilers. Mike, this cat's bigger than my dogs. They ain't quite Rottweiler size at the minute, but I'll take on board what you're saying. Thank you very much for the tip. It is, the cat, to be fair, is not being as much of a nuisance as it was before. It is staying away a little bit more. I'll just need to get some more of these little spiky type things to keep it away, and I think hopefully that should keep it at bay. And then thirdly, we've got an update with the chicks that we've got at the moment and how the breeding's going. Not quite going to plan, to be fair. I would have liked more chicks at this stage, but I've got 6 very healthy chicks at the moment, and they might be the 6 best birds in the country. Who knows? Well, I probably do. But yeah, so just the 6 healthy chicks at the moment. And lots and lots of eggs being sat on. So let's see what else we've got in store. Last week we had a little chat about sighting the birds and what they perceive and what we do. And I've borrowed this little image which shows the human vision compared with the bird vision. And as you can see, they've got a little bit more range than we have in the ultraviolet section. So as you can see, that's just starlings we get quite a lot of here in the UK. They're a beautiful bird. She's untrained eye, they're probably just a black bird with a few specks on. But obviously, as you can see from the bird vision, completely different. So, this is one of the things that I was talking about before. So I found this while I was chatting to a friend of mine, and he helped me find it. And hopefully it explains a little bit about the difference. And I thought it was a good little graphic. Now, while you're watching me really enjoy myself doing the washing up, which we have to do a lot of course, in the hobby, I thought I'd just catch up with other bits of news during the week. The Raza Canary, she was sitting on 5 eggs. She still is sitting on 5 eggs, but very sadly, the cockbird, I went in one morning and he was dead. No signs as to why, so obviously removed him, and she's now just sitting on her own on 5 eggs. She's looking extremely healthy after her trials of her health early on in the season. So for one pair of birds, I've really had it up and down. She's sitting on 5 eggs. I just hope that they're going to be fertile. We'll find out shortly, and then we'll see what happens. It's quite a sad thing when you go in and find, when your bird's just laying there. I mean, we have quite a lot of birds in the room, various different ages. I'm not sure the exact age of the Raza, but it looked fine one minute and gone the next. But that is something that can happen with birds, unfortunately. They can just turn very quickly. And so sadly we've lost him, but say she's still sitting on the 5 eggs. Crossing my fingers they're going to be fertile, and she'll be able to raise them in his memory, really. And it'd be nice to keep a few Razas. They're quite a nice little bird to watch. They just do things differently from all the different breeds of canaries. Do things differently. Like, they don't just look different, they behave differently. They've all got their own little traits. So so that was the sad news of the Razas. Just coming to an end of watching me washing up now, which is something we obviously regularly, and just keep on top of, keep everything as clean as possible in the bird room without disturbing the birds too much while they're nesting. So sometimes, depending on how that bird is what I'll actually do cleaning out wise. Okay, moving on to the rest of the birds at the moment. Mariah Carey bird, she's sitting on 4 eggs. I've just looked this morning, 3 look fertile, so I'm really happy with that one. Daughter of Mariah should have had hatching by now. A couple of days ago, it hasn't happened, unfortunately. Cage 3, she's sitting on 4 eggs. Crossing my fingers with her, she's only just started sitting. There's the cockbird, just chilling out. Obviously, these were the chicks that hatched out and they're looking quite healthy. They're feeding for themselves. The cockbird's still in there. I'll probably split them very shortly. There's the female, she's sitting on 4 more eggs, so that'll be nice. This particular bird, this pair, she's sitting on 4 eggs as well. It's in cage 8. Cage 7's resting, so I've skipped her. She's there just resting, chilling out at the moment. In this one, cage 13 and cage 15, both their eggs for the second time were clear. So the common denominator was the cockbird. He's been taken out. I'll put him in the aviary. There he is. He was in the aviary. He's come back in. He jumped in the bird bath and got actually drowned nearly. I had to take him. I was on the way to work and he couldn't get out the bird bath. He got plenty of energy. It's just the dip in the bird bath. It had been raining and it was overfull. So I brought him in for a couple of days. He dried out absolutely fine. And the rest of the birds, so we've got to cage 20. This is where the chicks have been. She's just started laying, as you can see, but the chicks are doing really, really well. There's the camera setup, just recording a few bits from them. And yeah, they're feeding from themselves. I have noticed that the cockbird is chasing one of the chicks, so I'm going to be splitting them this afternoon. They can fend for themselves probably now through the wire grill. And there's the Raza. She's sitting on her 5 eggs, and we really hope that that will continue to be okay for the Razas. Right, so what I've done in the bottom of the cage is I've just put a little bit of blue moor in the bottom, very small poppy seed, just for the chicks have a little peck around with. They're very small, easy to digest. They're still, so they are feeding for themselves. They're on the egg food. And this is just to sort of encourage them more towards a bit of seed. So, and that's in there for. You see an awful lot of egg food is wasted on the floor, but that's the way it is. Now also I've started to put some red pigment in the water to start slowly getting a base of colour feeding. There is in the water, and I have a little bit of a process of making this up. And it's a pepper pot process. Say that with your teeth. So there's the ingredients. It's got some red stuff in, as you can see, that I can't pronounce. I ain't got the teeth in. I'm breaking these in for a horse. So what I do, there's my little pepper pot. I fill it with the red pigment, which is easier to say. And I mix that with some dextrose. That helps spread it. I find, and also it's good for the birds to keep them hydrated. So in the pot goes the dextrose, a little bit of the red, a few shakes of the red, and it can increase. So 5 shakes or 10 shakes is obviously double the amount of red. And I pop that into a little plastic bag where I keep keep nice and dry, and mix it up. Put that in the water, and there you see in the water, nice orangey red colour, and that helps. Now I also put it in the egg food as well, to make sure that I've covered the bases with food and water, to make sure I get plenty. Some birds will drink more than the others, some birds will eat more than the others, so just so it balances out, I like to put it in both. So I just sprinkle it over, give it a mix. You don't need a massive amount of that cup of red stuff, and it mixes in very well. It doesn't particularly look on this batch, but it does go very red. If I kept once I mix that in well, it goes quite red. And so I'll put that in the food, and that will help the chicks get that red colour. You can see the difference in some of the photos of the parent bird. You'll see it in a second, actually. There's a parent bird at the back, and there's the chicks in the foreground. So you can see the complete difference before and after. These are the chicks looking really good. That's 007, young James Bond. He's in there. And again, here, there's 3 chicks there. There's the cockbird. He's the gold bird, and you can see the complete difference in colour. Looking quite beautiful. Be nice if these chicks get some better spangling on the back, which is what I'm hoping. It's what I've paired these two together for. She's got quite a nice spangling, the hen, so hopefully that'll come through. And as you can see, they're on the greens. They've been eating egg food themselves as well. It's quite important, obviously, for the birds to fend for themselves as quickly as possible, especially not just here, in the wild they'd have to as well. But these guys, they're doing very well. Like I say, I have seen the cockbird pestering the chicks a little bit. I don't want them pecking any feathers out. I haven't seen any feathers being pecked out. I really don't want them, because these are almost a one-season show bird, so you want them in pristine condition as chicks going into their first molt, and so that's what I'm concerned with. So I should be taking that cockbird, putting them to the left-hand side of that grill. He'll still feed those chicks through the grill, and so they'll still be getting fed from him as well as feeding for themselves. But I feel quite comfortable and confident that they'll be able to feed themselves. Here is the lovely non-cap chick, and he's jumping in on his egg food. So when you see that, you know it's good. And they'll slowly go over to seed. It's a little bit early for him to go to the bigger seed at the minute, but it's a process. So they'll be on the egg food. I've got some of that blue more in this cage as well, the small seed. So they'll have a little peck. They'll have a peck on the greens, and it just gets there. They'll get there. And nature's got a great way of deciding when. They're not daft. They've got this thing inside them that tells them when to. They need different sorts of foods, especially with vitamins and minerals as well. They tend to know that they'll pick up bits of grit when they need some grit, etc., etc. Okay, and that's the chicks in cage 20. Okay, I'll leave you watching these young ones. Just like to say thank you very, very much, everybody, for viewing and looking and taking interest. Every time I do a little episode, I'll get some comments. People chat to me directly, and it's lovely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, 'cause like I say, I am a novice. Try and keep the birds as healthy as possible. Seasons go up and down. I'll see all sorts of people having good and bad seasons. Sometimes you just can't pinpoint why they're not doing as you want. Of course, it doesn't. It's just the way the game is. But we've got some cracking little chicks at the minute. High hopes for them. Hopefully we'll have a few more hatching out about a week's time, so hopefully in episode 16 we should see some more little squeakers. I'm really hoping. And so thank you for everybody for watching, for subscribing, liking, sharing, etc. It's been really good. Really enjoyed it. It helps me because it gives me purpose for what I do when I do the film these birds. I see a lot more of my own birds by filming and looking through, and it's a great thing to do. So what I may well do is I might put a little video together at some point of how I make these YouTube videos, and then you can see how it's done, and then if you fancy you can have a little play yourself, and you can see, well, I've got no hair. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate you watching, and have a good week. Hopefully everything's going well. Our temperature's going great here in the UK at the minute. We've got sunshine. People are panic buying barbecue briquettes. They don't know what to do. They're bumping into walls. We're not used to seeing so much heat in the sunshine, so lovely. Take care.